Miss with Being Creative with Miss, and I've lost. Oh no, I didn't. Hey, I see a couple of people hopping on, so say hi when you come on as usual. Come on into the hive and let's paint some stuff. I posted a picture earlier last week. If you could pick these up, that would be great, but you can paint it on anything. You don't have to have that. These are just some wood ornaments. They're very cheap. They are $2.99 and 50% off that. So $1.49 for 4 ornaments. So that is pretty cheap. So hi Judy and Tracy and Becky and Chris and Barb and Sharon. So that's what we're going to use tonight. But like I said, you can use anything you want. You can paint it on anything. I painted this on a sugar mold, and I showed you that a long time ago. So you can do it anything, any flat surface. You can do it on a 2x4 block and make just a standing little sign. So whatever. Okay, but I'm going to show you tonight how to paint it, but I'm going to show you a good hack. I think it's a good hack. It is good for me because I struggle with it. So I think it's a great hack. So anyway, so hi Lisa and Brenda, and hey Carol. So I am glad to see you all. I was trying to get on here, and I flew back downstairs because I couldn't get my iPad to open. And then when I did get it to open, it started a new update, and I'm like, no. So it was a Facebook app update, so still going through it. So hopefully I can find you here. So I'm sorry about that. So there we go. Now I'll show you what we're going to do. This is some that I painted. So let me flip it because I forgot. Okay. So this is some that I did. And that's that same ornament, but I just added a snowman and some trees. And some texture, heavy body texture, medium. And this one. So all the trees are a little bit different. Hi, Joe. And then there's this one. And I just did this drawing real quick before I came on. I didn't write it out on paper. I just scratched it on there. So it's a little bit sketchy. But all the trees are different. If you notice, I have, like, all the trees are a little bit different. Okay? So there they are. So if you have a wood round flat surface, whatever you're painting on, you can paint it whatever color you want. I like to paint on like navy or black for a nighttime look. You can do a gray to look like a gray day. I like that because the trees and the snow show up well on that. And you can also do a blue. I've done that and I like that. So there's all kinds of options. So feel free to do whatever you want. I just left these as they were because that was just, I told you about picking those up. So I did not paint one of those. So I just left it the rustic look that it is. So I don't know if we will do the whole thing tonight. We'll kind of watch the time, but we might break it into 2 nights, and I might come back on Tuesday night and finish it up. But we'll see how it goes. We'll kind of just gauge it and see. But I don't know. This one, I don't know if you can tell. And like it's kind of, I'm going to put some gray ribbon up there around this part and kind of dress it up with maybe a little piece of pine, but I didn't get that done yet. But this one's kind of, I guess I was going to say like a neutral color. It doesn't have a lot of color to it because it's gray, scarf is gray. But if you see it in person, I think it's pretty. It's just simple pretty because I put like the texture, I put dots on the background, and then when I glass glittered it, it picked that up. So it's real, I don't know, I'm sure you probably can't see it on camera. So when you look at it in person, it's just very, it's just like simple pretty with not a lot of color, very neutral. But once I add the ribbon and a little piece of pine, I think that will be really cute. So anyway, but in one of them I added a hat on. So it's just, you can just do whatever you want. I'm not like super, super good at scarves. Like, can you see that? I wish I was better, but I'm not. But like I said, and I feel like, also, I'm going all over the place. I feel like this is just the 1st of October and we should be in the thick of fall stuff. But I'm getting ready for a show the first weekend of November. And, I mean, I kind of thought, well, I'm going to show them anyway. Because I know a lot of you all are doing shows too. Or trying to get stuff together. So I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Because if you're working on a show or you pick these up, you might want to go ahead and try it. And like I put Joy here. This one, if I wouldn't have put the dots on the back, you could have personalized that very easily right down through there. You could have put like, you know, Megan or Shiloh or Missy or whatever. I mean, and you could use them as a package tag, but they're just so inexpensive. You could really do a lot with them. Yeah, it's just that it's the simplicity of this one is just very simple. But anyway, so that is that. Charlene said she's doing a show on the 19th. Yeah, and so like Megan and I were going over transfers today. Like we're trying to figure out the shirts. She always does shirts for Warren, and I think you all bought some last year. So we cannot decide. And some people haven't released Christmas yet, and like new Christmas stuff. And it's so hard because we need to order it now because she needs to get them pressed and order the shirts, and it's a big process. So hi Tina. So anyway, so we can't decide. So we said today, I might throw a post up tomorrow and let you all help us out and tell us what you think, because we are having a hard time deciding for what we have, and we really like to buy from this one lady, and she hasn't released anything new Christmas yet, and I'm like, hurry. So anyway, let me bring it down and quit yapping. So let me see. You can see my lovely table. So I need to scoot my bench up here. Oops. Okay, I need to flip you. I did not do that. So I'm going to have to lift it back up and do it this way and that way. I think that's right. I always forget that part. Okay, do I have it now? I'm back in business. I left it, the camera a long ways, which it's hard when I'm talking with, you know, when it was upright, like facing me, but I think it's better when I put it down here because I'm getting more view this way. So that is the 4 ornaments. I know you could see them when I held them up, but the background of this is kind of a, I don't know, it almost tends to have a real light khaki tan look to it. Very light. It's not white. You can tell the white shows up on it. But, you know, you could, like I said, you could paint them. So, this is what we're going to do. First of all, see if I can find it. I have a pencil. I'll sketch out the snowman. But let's kind of put these aside. Put that one over there. Okay. So here's my palette. You don't need very many colors. It all depends on what color scarf you want. The rest of it's just green, white, gray for shading, cinnamon stick for the nose. I like to use that for my nose. So the rest of it's kind of just up to you. But this is my hack. You know, I have my sister on here, and she showed us how to do trees, and I struggle with trees. And I told you all a lot that I use stencils for lots of things. They help with wording, you know, whatever. So these stencils are from Amazon, and I have them linked in I ran in there and linked them in my Amazon store real quick. But they're not expensive at all, but they're so great. This one pack comes with all these different sizes and different styles, if you can see that. Let me hold this stencil set up. See, that might help. So there's that style, there's this style, and then there's this one. So they're all different, and so I tried to use different ones on all of the ornaments. So like this tree, I like that. I like the look of that tree, kind of like scruffy pine. But that was that one. So that's my hack. I just think it makes it so much easier. And by the time you sponge it and then add a little bit to it, I think it looks really, really good. So this is the other stencil, and this is a big one. I think this one's $12, this great big one. But it has so many great uses. I'll show you this way so you can maybe get it all on camera. But I used this one on that one. And then this would be great for a sign or a bigger circle, but it's a whole kind of like a background of trees, which I think is really neat. But I just used part of it, so on this one, and I really like how it turned out. So I just used that on that part of it, and then I painted the snowman in between it. So that's what I did. That, I think, is a fun little tip for you guys. I just think it makes it really easy if you can't do trees well. I mean, I can put one in, but I don't feel like they look good. I just don't. And I think the stencils make it really easy. I even was painting with them when my sister and I have been painting every Wednesday. And she was like, well, you could even go back and she didn't give me too much grief about it, but she goes, you could go back and do, you know, stipple on it and stuff. And I said, yeah, I did. And I put snow and stuff. So, oh, I don't know. So I don't know what one to use tonight. So I don't know. Do you all have an opinion of what you should? Josie, I don't know that Megan's on here. It's linktree.com, which I don't know. I'm not, I don't have it in here. If you go to my Facebook profile, it's in that information too. And I don't think Megan's on here. I don't think. Can you hear? Angie said she lost sound. Can the rest of you hear? Tell me, someone tell me you can hear. The two trees together. You like that one the best? The one with joy. I'm like trying to see Snowman on the bottom. Okay, Beth says she can hear. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know what one to use. I have that one out. I can just use this one, I guess. Okay, everyone says they can hear. If someone has my Linktree address, can you type it in? It's, I think it's LINK .TR. No, I don't know. Never mind. Someone said they liked the two trees the best. I don't know if I could even use the same two trees. Like you could stencil, like you could do this one twice with another one. I mean, you can do so many things. Okay, I'll try to get the link in there before if someone else doesn't type it in, I'll try to get it in there. Okay, everyone says they can hear. Okay. It must have just went out for a minute. Okay. The other great thing is always have a snowflake stencil. That is just essential. I think. I think it is. Okay, someone said two trees too, so we can do that again. And like if you wanted a big, well, you really can't do that on this one. You could do these two instead of these two. But I just did these two, but we can do these. So let me grab a green. I did not do that. So I'm just basically going to use the makeup sponge and just put some green out. You can use any green you want. These are both hunter green, and this isn't really my favorite green either. This is forest green, so I don't know. We may have to add some a little bit of black to it to darken it up because I want the base to be dark. Okay, we are gonna get going. So I'm just gonna mix that a little bit. I just wanted it a little bit darker. And then we'll stipple some lighter on top of it. Okay, so you're just gonna use your handy dandy makeup sponge like we do all the time. Get some. So you just center it wherever you want it on there and just bring it down yay far. So I'm trying to get this one. So about right there. So I'm just going to tap in my paint, and then, you know, you want to get as much paint off as you can because you don't want to get any bleeds. Okay, so once I get it on there, I'm just going to tap real lightly. Well, actually, it doesn't sound like it's very lightly, but I'm going to kind of not come clear to the middle because my snowman will be there and then I won't have to worry with that as much. So just put a real light coat down first and it'll dry really quick. You can tape your stencil down if it worries you about moving. So and make sure you bring it down low enough so your snow will cover it up, but you need to make sure you bring it low enough. Okay. Oops, I moved my stencil. And then I always just keep my heat gun right by me. You can take it off and do it, but then you have to line it back up. So usually I just do that and go back in, and you just keep making it. Well, I've hit the stencil twice. It's so hard because I can't bend over get over it because I'm trying to keep it in the frame, and my head keeps hitting the camera. Just got all kinds of problems. Okay. So you just kind of keep building it so you don't get too much paint, and then that way it doesn't bleed out. And it's really easy to use. I'm just having, it's a little more troublesome for me just because I can't get clear under there because of the phone holder, camera holder. Okay, so let's give it one more. I think it's probably good, but we'll give it one more. I probably should add a little bit more black to it so it would have been darker and then we wouldn't have had to do it so many times. But do you all think this is a good hack? Have you tried it before? Or I just think I've just been having fun using them, and I was like, well, I want to share that because it might be helpful to you all too. So it's pretty fun to be able to throw a background of trees or whatever without a lot of fuss. So when you're painting for a show, time is money, and you want to get as much done as you can. And so I bled a little bit. I don't usually bleed, I don't know. But we'll fix it. And when we tap our snow out, also, it really won't matter in the scheme of things. I'll take a little bit of it out, but it'll be fine once, because we go back in and tap different, some different greens, and the snow kind of ends up covering it up. So it looks kind of, I don't know, like it doesn't look that great right now, but we just keep adding to it and then it looks really good. We're going to use several of these brushes tonight, and that's that pack. I have one and I brought it in here with me. I know I've told you 100 times. I never can search them. They never come up in the search, so I thought I would show them to you. I don't know if you can see them, but I think they're only like $9 or something like that, but they are so good for all your dry brushing and stuff. A bunch of brushes, but they are awesome for that. So we're going to be using several of those, and I'm just going to get those out and lay them. So now that we have that green on there, I'm going to take a little bit of a lighter green. In the end, I don't know, you can't see it a lot because we put the snow and stuff over it, but it still does help. It doesn't make it look so stark. So I'm going to get, I'm just going to take this Scruffy. I've got a whole bunch of them laying here. So, and I'm not even going to lay the stencil back over it. I'm just going to kind of go back in. I'm wiping that brush off so it's not real heavy. And just tap around. You can lay the stencil back on it too, but for this wider part, you really don't need to. Just kind of, that's why I said those little smears won't matter in the scheme of things by the time we tap around on it and then add some snow. And then we'll put our snowman right in the middle. Now, we'll probably gauge him probably right in there. I'm going to try to sand a little bit of that off, just where I think he's going to be, just so I don't have as much to cover up for his body. So, and we can also tap some green back in if I sand it off too much, but that should be good. Now the trees still look a little bit wonky, but by the time we get done with everything, they won't. It'll look good. So I didn't look over here. I asked you what brand are the brushes. They're called Jerry Q. You can screenshot that, but the link, they are in my Amazon store. If I could, let me see. Hang on. Oh, Carol, I knew you were going to the beach today. Good. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know if I can. And then I'll tell you. I was trying to find my... No, I can't. I was trying to see if it would show me my profile on here. Okay. There it is. Let me, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get you this link and I'm not, okay. Now let's see if we get back here. Okay. Maybe this will work. Okay, I put a link in there. See if that, I don't know how to pin it and Megan's not on here, so. Okay, let's move on. So I got that in there, so that should help you. So now I just freehanded with a pencil, just kind of go in and draw a head, kind of decide how tall you want him or whatever, kind of draw a head, and then come down and draw his body. I usually use a chalk pencil, but it wouldn't show up on the white part very much. So that's all I'm doing. I don't know if you can see that. So I just roughed out of a sketch on there. You can make him as fat or as skinny. You could also do 3 balls, like head and then 2 balls below him. So, but I'm just going to do that and leave him that way. And I've got a little bit of overage there on my pencil. If you have an eraser, you can actually erase all of it if you can still see your lines real faint. But, so that anyway. So now we're just going to get our white paint and go from there. And then with that, I like to use an angle brush when I'm laying in colors. I float with them, but I also like to paint with them. So you're just going to go in and lay in some paint. Let me smooth that out. You don't have to follow your lines exactly. You can, like sometimes if I don't think it looks right, I'll make him a little rounder or whatever. But they are good to have on there just, I think, for kind of guidance. So, But really, it's really easy, but they're so fun to do, and I think they're as cute as they can be when they come together. But you'll have to give it several coats, especially if you have a big distressed place, because it has these distressed places on it. So, but you just dry it and go again. Now, I'm gonna just wipe over the distressed places on this one, which is about all of it, and let that dry. Okay. Did that help? Did that link tree thing work? Did anyone try it? And I even put them in their own stencil category. Tracy, thank you, Tracy. She said, don't forget to spread the honey. This is a great little craft that lots of people might enjoy, so pass it along. Spread the honey and share it. I wasn't supposed to say that. Okay. Thanks, Tracy. I don't know if that link worked. I was seeing if anyone said whether it did. It should have, but I don't know. I would say probably at least 3 coats, maybe 4, and then we'll get into shading and stuff. So, and like you can see where I sanded a little here and a little there, but by the time we get his scarf on, that'll all be fine. And by the time the snow comes up, I could take a little green and go back in here, and you can just touch that up with a brush. It's not going to really show that much. But anyway, let's give him another coat. When I said about using an angle brush, and I've told you that before, but that tip is nice to just go right along that line. It just makes a nice smooth edge, I think. So anyway, but I hope you all try it. And like I said, it'll be fun to see what you all put it on, because you can do it on so many things. So many things. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you, Deborah. She said the link did work. She said it did work. Okay, good. Oh, Carol, I wonder why it keeps stopping. Okay. So I think this will be good enough, and we'll go on and make him do the fun parts of the snowman that makes him come together. Now you can put a hat. Like I said, I did that on this one. You can definitely do a hat. I even used my little snowflake stencil and put a little snowflake on his hat. But those are really fun. So I probably should have put a hat on this one, but oh well. It's good. Now I'm going to use some slate gray, and that's what we'll shade the snowman with. And we'll get to work on that. So I'm going to get a little floating brush. You don't have to have a very big one for him. So it's just a little angle brush. Dip into the gray, and then I like to use a baby wipe to kind of float it out on. So I'm just going to do a little bit of gray on this side. I don't want it as heavy on this side as I do the other. I'm just going to kind of come up around his head. And I'm doing that because I want to kind of make him show up better, I guess. And then we'll put gray heavier down this right side. So, I'm going to rinse my brush and do that again, but I want to make sure it's dry because I just don't want to move the paint. So I'm going to kind of make it more shadowed down this side. I'm going to have more of a shadow down that side. Okay, and then you can also just kind of add a little bit up there if you want. Okay, so that's that. Lay that brush aside. This snowman I did hearts on, and this one I did dots. I'll do dots, but I'll do those closer to when I'm almost finished with him, because I don't want to burn my hand through it. So anyway, I'm going to get a stylus tool that I'll use for eyes, maybe, if I can find the right one. And we're also going to use one of these brushes in that pack. Like, they come with like these little rounds and stuff, and those are great for cheeks, especially because you usually can't find stencil brushes that little. So in that pack, it has like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the flats, and then it has that many of the rounds. So that's kind of nice. You can get a nice variety. So I just use these so much, and I really, really like them. Okay, so we need, oh no. Oh, I probably have some up here. I've left my pink down on the table again. I'm having an awful time because I'm painting too many places. Painting here, there, and everywhere. So, this is really not the color I want, but we will make it work. I'm going to add a little brown in it so it's not so, not so peachy. So I thought I gathered all my stuff before I came up, but I didn't. This might be a little bit more pinky. We'll make something work. I can mix it. Usually mix about anything I'm on a mission, so we'll see what we get. That's too much brown. Too much brown. I told Mark when I was gathering stuff up, I said, oh, I'll probably forget something, but I think I have it all together, and no, I didn't. I didn't. So, okay, that is good. That'll work. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and put it on my brush, and then really dry it off. I don't want the cheeks to be super, super bright. So I'm just going to work it off, and then we'll just tap them on there. That is a bright color. I'll smudge that down with my hand a little bit. It's a little oranger than I'm used to. Let's wipe that off a little bit. I'll get it if it kills me. And see, Megan's not on here to say, Mark, bring me this. This will be fine, it'll work. I just get a little more pink to it, so it doesn't look so peachy. Maybe I just keep muddying it up. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's see if this adds a little bit more pink to it. Okay, we're gonna go with it. I don't want to keep smearing it. I could sand it a tad, dull it down. And sand anything and make it a little duller. Okay, now I'm going to use cinnamon stick for the nose. So we can go ahead and do that. My palette looks a mess already. I'm barely begun. Little liner brush, the little disposable ones. You can, with this, you have the liberty to make, you know, your nose long. Like this one kind of got, oh, is it that one? This one. I put snow on his nose, but his nose got kind of long. It just, you can just have the joy of doing his nose any way you want. I just kind of kind of make a comma at the back and then just pull it either however long I want it or whichever way I want it to point. And this one's probably a little fatter than I would have done normally. But they all, like all those snowmen that I did, like on these, they're all different. They all have a different face. It's funny how that always ends up working out. I think they always end up looking unique, I guess. So So you probably need to give it 2 coats just so it's not transparent. And then that's pretty good for his nose. I like to take a little bit of brown. I use espresso a lot. I just think it's a good middle of the road brown. And just a middle of the road brown. And I kind of darken, kind of more like this bottom part here, just to add a little bit of dark to it. Just to give it a little bit of definition. And you can add some little bit of line. Sometimes I do that, but I think I'm going to put snow on his nose, so I did not fool with it anymore. So I'm going to take a little stylus, trying to see which one of these are littler, and I'm going to get some black, and I'm just going to dot his mouth. And if you see, look at my samples, some of them I did X's on. I do that and a lot, and then some of them I just do dots. So I'm just going to do dots on him, and I like to kind of just start right in the middle and make a dot, and then I work out from there. Hang on, I don't want to make sure I got too much on there. So then I kind of go either side like that. And then you can put his eyes in at the same time. And I just try to gauge over where his nose is, and all of a sudden he comes to life. Isn't it fun? I think it's so fun. So his nose is big. His nose is a little large. You can also, I think these pens, I know I tell you the same stuff all the time, but sometimes there's people that haven't watched and don't know, but they work great for like little, just putting a little eyelash on, or eyebrow. You can make marks, you can even make some little marks on the nose, but I'm going to snow it, so. And if you put the X's, you can even use this for the X's on the mouth. I used a liner, that little tiny liner, but you can use the pen just as well. Okay, so we're going along pretty good. So that is our snowman face, but we need to put a dot in the upper right hand corner of its eye. I'm going to have to pick it up. My eyes are awful today. I'm having a time with them. I discovered a while ago that I had my contacts in the wrong eyes. I had them flipped. And so I took them out, but they're still, I don't know why, they're just real foggy today. Okay, so on this one, I put a little bit of snow. You can do that, or you don't have to do that, but I think I am. We could even do it with some of the texture when we get to it, but I'm just going to take this liner and just kind of tap it along there. Just kind of like he's got snow on his nose randomly up through there. Sometimes I like to do that. I just think it looks cute, but I don't do it all the time. So just tap it out and tap a few things there. So, let's see. I don't know if I have that looking right. It looks like too much of a line. I don't know, I might have to come back and work on that. I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not. I may come back to that. Okay, let's do our scarf before we do the dots. Let's get that going. I told you I don't feel like I'm great at scarves. So, what color do you want to do the scarf? I've got reds, grays. What else do I have up here? I wonder what mint green would look like. Would that look funny? Like a sea glass? I don't know. Would that look funny? Like a light green? Maybe do the plaiding on it. Would that look funny? Dusty, is this your first time watching? If so, I think I saw Tracy say welcome. So I don't know, what do you think? Would that look really goofy to have a lime green or a light green scarf? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't sewn any, Casey, yet. Maybe you were asking someone else. It's a hand-painted ornament, and like I said, by the time I tie a little bit of ripped homespun or ribbon, like I'm going to use gray on this one with a little sprig of pine, like a really skinny, you can get the really skinny pine in a roll, or they're come in sticks, and I clip them off, and that's gonna, you can add a bell. Like once you embellish it, it's even gonna be so much better. Okay, Beth said use light green. All right, we're gonna go for it. I don't know what it'll look like. It might, I've messed up my palette. It might look silly, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do something different. So, this is what I do, which I'm not saying it's right, but I just kind of, make a circle, not a circle, a rounded edge out there. And then I bring it back. I don't know if this is bright enough. And kind of make it more narrow as I get back here. And like I said, I don't feel like I'm good at scarves, but I tried. So I pull it back kind of more narrow back here. And then I take however I want my scarf tails, not tails, what is it called? The ends of my scarf that's going to come down, I just kind of just pick where I want them to come out at and kind of bring them out like that. And then let's dry it. I probably should have used that other green. It might have looked brighter. Okay. Oh, the love of a heat gun. They just make it so, dry things so quick. Okay. So, I'm going to pull that down again just so, you don't really have to do it twice. I'm trying to make it a little bit darker, and some of my paint wasn't all the way dry, so I moved it. So, alright. I'm going to try to do that a little bit more. So, once you get that part done, and you feel like it looks good, then I come back and I just kind of put a round, like a round knot, but kind of squared round. I know it doesn't make sense. I don't know how to explain it. So I just get paint on there, and then I just kind of put a roundish knot, but I kind of square it a little bit too, cube it, like kind of like a cube. Is that how I'd say it? Because I want it to kind of look like the knot. Anyway. So, but you can, you know, just work on it until you think it looks right and you get it to how you like it. So, but by the time we float it a little bit, or put a little bit of float in it, I think it's almost too light of a green. I'm not really happy with it, but we're gonna go with it because that's what we've got. So we will try to put a little bit of shading in there, and maybe that will help it some. Let's get a little float brush and see what we can do. See if we can help it any. So I'm going to use a little bit of the green we were using earlier. I think that will help. I need to put some more out. So I'm just going to dip. I use a little black too. Okay, so I'm going to fan it out on this. I need more green. And we'll see if that helps any. But we'll kind of edge it. Let me wipe it off more. Kind of edge it along there. I'm trying to get an edge on it because it's so light. But I don't know that that looks good either. It's like I should have stuck with a plan instead of venturing off path, and then, but it's always good to try new things, and we'll see how it comes out. But I just want a little bit of a darker edge on it, so we can separate the pieces, and so you can maybe see if we can see it better. And then we'll put our plaiding on there. I don't know why. I always like to plaid my scarves or put something on them. Polka dot plaid. This one I polka dotted and I liked it too. I'm going to go back and get that little brush and go back in my green. And I'm just going to pull some real scant little fringes on the end. Just so it looks like the end of a scarf. Not showing up on the white as well. I'm sorry about that. I guess I chose the wrong color. I should have chose the other light green. But I'm going to add a little bit of gray in with that, and then kind of pull it in that green just to make that show up. But I'm sorry, I kind of went off the rails there with that. So now I'm going to use the same thing. I can plaid it in white or in, I don't know what to use. I'm not sure. I don't know if the white will show up good. I was going to use white, but I don't know. But when I do that, I just make scant lines and then kind of go across. And I don't think this is showing up real good, but it'll be okay. It'll be fine. Or at least that's what I keep saying. So I'm just making the stripe like a line up and down, and then I'll go kind of across it. I can see them okay, but I don't know if you can, but I'll hold it up in a minute so you can see. But it, like, sometimes things look rocky at first, but once you get the details in, they look much better. I think I got those too close. Let me take that back out of there. Take that back out of there and fix it while I'm waiting on that to dry. I'm going to go across that again. Okay, and then do this one again. I had those lines too close together. Okay. So I don't know that that showed up great at all. But we've got it on there, and I may try to fix it later. But once it all gets together, it might be okay. We shall see. I'm trying to darken some of those edges so it shows up. Okay, now let's take, I'm just going to take the end of this and go into black and do some dots right down the middle. And I like to do this last so I don't smear them. I'm just going to put 2 on him, and we'll dry it. And then we will get to our tree, get to the fun stuff. So isn't it fun how it comes together? There's Miss Megan. Megan, I was trying to put the Linktree link in, and I didn't have it, and I don't know. And you weren't here. So I was trying to put the Linktree in because then they could just click on it and go to my Amazon store, because I put the stencils in there and the brushes are in there, and anyway, we were struggling. We were struggling. So, okay, with that, I'm going to get this scruffy liner. It's not very good. And I'm going to put a little gray. You can see where I put a little shadow on that. So I'm going to gray sky is probably the best to use, so I'm just going to add a little white to the slate gray that I had out. But I just want that real, just kind of a little shadow there underneath the buttons. And then with this little brush, I'm going to put a little white just up here. Hopefully those are dry enough. Anyway, I'm trying not to get in there too much, and I don't think the middle is dry. Okay, so that's our buttons. Any cute? So now let's go to our tree. I've tapped around on them, and I was going to do a little more, but I really do think by the time we get all of our snow on it, it's going to be fine. I spattered mine, but you really couldn't tell a lot. You couldn't, but the white, it picks up on the trees, but it's not something you have to do, but I will do it a little bit. It does kind of help, I think. So what do you think? I know the scarf isn't good. That's the wrong color, and I'm going to kind of cover him while I spatter this, because I don't want a big spatter on his face. But you can see it. You can see how it's flicking on the trees. So that helps the trees as well. Spattering's wonderful. Okay, so I just threw a little watered down white on there. Alrighty, now for the texture, you can use spackling like we use in Fake Bakes. You can use the spackling. You can use this, you can get at Hobby Lobby. It's just dimensional effect, which is just texture paste, and you can add any color to it. But that's like 3 something. I think it's 3 something. It might be more than that for that little bottle. When we palette knife painted, I told you about modeling paste. It makes any color of paint thick. You just add it to whatever color you're working on, and then you have a thick paste. So that's great. If you have that, just add that to your white paint and use that. The heavy bodied white acrylic that we use when we are palette painting, you can use that. You can also, you can just use anything heavy bodied. So I did 2 of those with spackling and 2 of them with heavy body, because I wanted, I guess, to be able to show you that both worked. I don't even know which ones were spackling and which ones were heavy body. The heavy body paint, I do feel like I can, move it around easier, maybe, if that's a way to say it. And I think I left my, oh, here it is. I think I can move it around better, but actually the spackling, I mean, it really doesn't matter. So I keep it in icing bags because I use it all the time for Fake Bakes and all kinds of stuff. But, so I'm just going to squirt some out. It doesn't take a bunch, but I probably put way more than I needed. But I just keep it in a freezer bag so it doesn't dry out. That way, use a freezer, Ziploc freezer, because they keep stuff better than just storage bags, in my opinion. Okay, so this is the fun part. So I'm just going to get a spackling knife, and we're going to, that looks, of course, crazy, but we're going to make it not look crazy. So I'm just going to pick up a glob, and I'm just going to kind of put it on there and bring it across. And just kind of smear it. Now, if you don't want it to come up that high, and this is something I do, or if I want it to dip down, like you can kind of see I did it there, I just take my finger and I push it back down to kind of round it. I don't know why. I just kind of like it rounded down around him. So you can bring it as high up as you want, or whatever. So bring it kind of up on the side. You don't want it like straight, so kind of kind of like that. And I just take my finger, and then you can kind of smooth it out or make it as dippy or wavy or textury as you want. So that is the snow part, and it covers up all that bottom, and it just makes it all look really, really nice. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to tap around on my trees. So I'm just going to get it. I'm going to get it all over me is what I'm going to do. Stuck my finger in it. So I'm just going to put some up there on the end, and I'm just going to tap around on it. With this kind, just the heavy body texture, the heavy body acrylic, I feel like I can do this better. I had a harder time with the spackling. I ended up using the end of a brush to tap it on, and it worked fine. It just didn't do as good as, like, it didn't come off the end of my palette knife as easy. But like, there's nothing, no real rhyme or reason. I just tap around on it until I think it looks like I have enough, and just kind of random down through there. And then we'll put glass glitter on it. You can use iridescent. Well, you could use iridescent. I don't like the way it looks as much. I would usually use, if you don't have glass glitter, I would use a crystal glitter. Glass glitter is my favorite. It just adds the best sparkle. It's real glass, and it just looks so good. It's in my Amazon store too, but Michael's has it. You could get it there. I don't think Hobby Lobby has ever carried it that I've ever known of, but you can get it at Michael's when they have it in stock as well. And I don't think there's much of a price difference, or there wasn't the last time I bought it. It was about the same on Amazon. So, alright, I'm talking and going too slow. So just go down through there and just keep, and those peaks are raised up, and you might not be able to see it, but in person they're kind of raised up, and that looks kind of neat because they dry that way, and once that glitter gets on it too, I don't know, it just kind of looks neat. So so then I just take my glass glitter. Let me see what I did with it. Let me get my tray out here. Okay, also, if you would want to do the little dots in the background like that one, you can do that. I didn't do that, but you could just take a stylus and you could use white paint and just do it that way, but you'd have to really hurry because it would dry fast. So I made mine kind of raised, but I went around. You wouldn't have to do them too many places, but just here and there. I just thought it looked really pretty when it dried because of the glitter. I thought it was pretty. But as soon as that all dries underneath, it just really sparkles so nice. Let me see, where do I need another one? It's like, I don't want to do too much, but I want it to have enough. Whoops. Alright, so I think that's good. We could even tap while we're doing this. I think this is what I'll do. I'm going to tap a little bit on that snow. Just a tiny bit, so some of the glitter will stick there. Okay, so I'm going to lay it on my glitter tray. That's from Michael's. And take my glass glitter. Whoops, I just poured it all over the table. Trying to show you. This is what it looks like. The big jars of it. It'll last a long time because you can just keep reusing whatever shakes off. So I just do that and then tap it on the tray, and then it has this little thing, and you just pour it right back into the container. So, but anyway, so let me get this and push I have a flake right there. Okay, I have a big flake of glass glitter on that. I was trying to fix it without messing it up. Okay, so there it is. So I don't know. I just dropped that in that. I don't know if you can see it, the sparkle really well, but it really does have a pretty sparkle. So, what do you think? Do you like it? Oh, and this looks like the top of a bob, so I painted it gray and dry brushed across it. I don't know if you like that or not. I even thought about drilling a hole here and using a different ribbon. I might try that and take this off. It's just little things sometimes can really change something and make it look nicer, I guess. But I'll do it real quick in case you want to do that. Just take slate gray. I got slate gray in the pink. I just took slate gray and I just went like that, kind of just filled it in like that, went across it. And you don't have to, you might like it to be plain, but I kept thinking it was missing something, so I did that. So I'll do it real quick. So please show us when you embellish it. Oh, okay. I can. I'll pop back on. So I don't know. You tell me. Do you think the gray part at the top helps it, or do you like it plain better? Like that's how it looked plain. So, and if you didn't see that at the beginning, that's what that looks like. And if they were out of them at your store, in ours it was back on an end cap along the back. It wasn't in with the main Christmas aisles. I'm sure you can order them online too, but anyway, tell me what you think about the gray top, because I was like, I don't know, I don't know, I just thought it needed something. So, of course, I fixed it, or what I thought fixed it. So then I just took a dry brush, because that looks really plain, see, and how it looks plain without it. That's where all these dry brushes come in, so good. So I want some white. I want to pick up white on the edge. Hang on, I need a paper towel. So I'm going to let that rest on the edge so it picks up more paint, and then kind of drag it across. Like that. And then I'm going to pick a little bit up here on this side, but not as heavy. Okay? And then I am going to use a little bit of black to make sure that's dry so it doesn't muddy it. And I'm going to put black and then wipe it off really good. And then I'm just going to kind of add some of that and kind of dragging it across like that. And if you need to go back in and lay in any more, of course you can. But that's all I did for that. But I thought it helped it a lot. You can also, you know, you could have shaded around these edges. You can do a lot with it. Just, you know, do whatever you want to do to kind of dress it up. So this guy, I put that, a little bit of the texture on there so it would pick up some glass glitter, but it picked up a couple big flakes. I was trying to get them moved off so it doesn't look so crazy. But anyway, but he's nice and sparkly. You like him? You like the gray top? It breaks it up. Judy said she likes it. Okay. I hope y'all do make them. Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad you think it's pretty. Yeah, that would look good. Tracy Neal said that, a piece of like a Dollar Tree cookie sheet, like you could cut and put up there to make it look more metal. That would be good too. Yeah, so anyway, but I'll come back on when I embellish them and show them to you. Dorothy suggested that. So, Deborah, said I could love you. I could watch you paint all day. Well, I feel like I always do that when I get on. I don't know if I just get nervous. I'm trying to hurry, but I did not do good on his scarf. But anyway, they all turn out. It's so fun because they all turn out so different. You know, they all just have their own. I got paint on that. Their own little look. But yeah, I'm gonna take them to my show. I thought I thought they were fun little hand-painted ornaments. And if you're into personalizing, you could easily, like I said, leave a space and be able to personalize them. But, so anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. I just thought I would share that, and it might be helpful to you all. And you might think the trees and all that was fun. Of course, some of you are, I'm sure, can whip them out pretty good, but I struggle with them, and when I do them, I feel like it takes me a while. So that is just a good way to use your stencil and go for it. I just saw a question. I don't know. What would you charge for these at a show? I don't know, because I haven't done it yet. Debbie, that's fine. You can watch the replay. And you're welcome. I don't know. Last year I sold my ornaments for, some were $8.99, some were $9.99. Megan, do you remember? It depended on how much work or how many 3D pieces they had, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I think I had some of these, like on this sign that we did last year. But it had the whipped topping, and I did the faux Hershey bar. So I had ornaments like that. And so, like, I would charge more if they had a lot of stuff on them. But, I mean, it just depends. But I don't know. And I know it depends on your area. I mean, like at a vintage market days, it seems like you can get a good price. And maybe at a church bazaar, you can't. And it depends on your area and the place you're selling. So, I think you have to keep that in mind too. And I don't know, but I'm thinking, like, by the time, and you have to also remember, by the time you embellish it, that's going to add a lot too. And that's what I always say: take the time to do the little extra details, because it sets you apart from someone else, and it can add so much to it. If I end up drilling a hole, and I don't know that I'll do that, I may try one. It may look different, and like you could use some beads and a ribbon and dress it up that way. Or just leave it as it is, but tie some ribbon, or I'll probably rip some little gray buffalo check and bring it out with a little thing of pine, and I'll glass glitter that, and it'll have the same shimmer, and that's going to dress it up so much too. So, but, you know, anything hand painted, I feel like has a whole lot more value than just something that's stamped on there from, you know, a store. But that's just my opinion. So anyway, Patty, you can spray it with sealer if you want. If you do that, I would spray it before you put on the snow texture, the heavy body acrylic or spackling or whatever you're going to use for the snow. I would spray it first if you want to seal it, and then add the snow in the glass glitter, because I have sprayed after glass glitter before and it looked funny. Like, it changed the way it looked, and I didn't like it. So, I don't know. I always spray before I do it now. But, was the link to get the brushes put up? I don't know if it was put up. It's in my Amazon store, and Megan has it linked. If you go to Linktree, Being Creative with Miss, it'll take you to my Amazon store, and it has them in there. It's under craft supplies, and then the stencils are in their own little category, so you could find them easier. I need to work on categorizing them better. So, so no, I wouldn't spray them after I did the glass glitter. But, Mary, you're welcome. I don't know if I don't think I've missed anything else. Okay. All right. But I just want to share that with you. I hope it was so helpful to you, and that you loved it. I hope you do. And if you are painting stuff, no matter what it's on, it doesn't have to be these, just whatever. You can get the plain wooden rounds, just plain. You can get those off of Amazon or anywhere. These would look really cute on those. Just paint them any color you want, but they would be pretty gray or navy or blue, with a kind of a different looking background. So, well, Melissa, you'll have to go back and watch and show how I did it, because I did all kinds of them. I mean, this is the one we painted on live, but these are the ones I did this afternoon. So, you can just add and do whatever. So, anyway, I'll let you go, and thanks for joining me. I'm glad you did, and I just always want to pass along something that I think might be helpful. So, and I know it's early, I know we're in fall, but I hate to feel like we're missing fall, but at the same time, it's like a lot of people are trying to get ready for shows, and they're doing it now. So, Dorothy said, I would like a dark one. She said, I'd like to see a dark one. I want to do a dark one. I love things painted on black or navy to look like a night. I think the spatters and the snow shows up so good. So, you're welcome. You're very welcome. As they are now, what would you price them? Cindy said. I definitely think they need a ribbon around the top. But if I was just hanging it up like that, I think $7.99, $8.99. I think that's where I would be at on it. But it's, I don't know. I don't know in your area or wherever. I don't know. You kind of have to play with that. So, what are they a piece? What were they? $3. So they're they're half off of that. So they're $1.50 for 4 of them. So you don't have that much in them at all. So I don't know. I just dropped everything off my stool. But so yeah, just kind of play with whatever for your area that you think you could get. So. And if I had them on a tree or whatever, you could even put a little sign that says hand painted, or I think they can see that they're hand painted. I wouldn't think they would think they weren't, but sometimes I like to have a sign on my table that says my items are actually sewn, like for my snowman, or my things are painted. It's not china and just embellished, because a lot of people don't really realize it. But anyway, all right, done babbling. Have a great week. And I will hop back on, maybe I'll do that Tuesday night, and we'll embellish them. So, all right, and I'll try to post a picture of the different ones we painted. So, but sorry about his scarf. He kind of went wonky with that color I chose. I should have picked, this one's called Sea Glass, and I should have picked that. It's a little better color. I don't know. But anyway, you got the gist. Okay, so go paint, go be creative. See ya.